There is a line in every relationship that no man should ever cross. It's not written on a wall, it's not printed in a book, but it exists in the heart of every woman and in the character of every real man and in the character of every real man. That line is called respect. The moment a man crosses that line, he stops acting like a man and starts acting like a problem. Because a real man understands something simple. Love without respect is just control, and attention without honor is just noise. Respect is not just a word, it's the backbone of every meaningful relationship. When a man respects a woman, he acknowledges her worth, her feelings, and her individuality. Respect is more than politeness or superficial gestures. It's about valuing her as a person, listening to her thoughts, honoring her choices, and treating her as an equal partner in life. When respect is present, love thrives naturally because both people feel safe, appreciated, and understood. It creates a space where trust can grow, communication flows freely, and connection deepens over time. Respect is the invisible line that separates genuine love from mere attraction or convenience. When a man crosses that line, even once, it shakes the foundation of the relationship. Disrespect can take many forms, from dismissive words and belittling comments to outright insults or controlling behavior. It can appear as ignoring her opinions, mocking her ambitions, or questioning her self-worth. Every time a woman's dignity is undermined, it chips away at the trust and emotional safety that she has placed in him. The bond that once felt strong starts to feel fragile. What may seem like small acts to some men, making jokes at her expense, not valuing her time, or speaking harshly in moments of frustration, actually leaves deep emotional marks that are difficult to erase. Respect is cumulative. It is built consistently over time, but can be destroyed in a single careless moment. Disrespect is particularly damaging because it communicates a lack of care for her inner world. Love without respect is hollow. Words spoken without consideration, actions taken without empathy, and decisions made without her involvement send the message that her feelings and her dignity are secondary. When that happens, a woman may begin to withdraw emotionally, question her place in the relationship, or even lose faith in the love that once seemed so certain. She may start to feel that she is constantly proving her worth or justifying her existence to someone who is supposed to love her unconditionally. Respect ensures that a woman does not have to fight to maintain her sense of self within a relationship. It guarantees that her identity is honored and preserved. A man who respects a woman also respects the relationship itself. He understands that crossing boundaries, whether through words, actions, or neglect, is not a trivial mistake. It is a violation of trust and love. Respect is not negotiable. It cannot be earned through grand gestures or charm alone. It must be demonstrated consistently through patience, understanding, empathy, and integrity. When respect is upheld, love grows deeper, intimacy strengthens, and both partners feel secure and valued. Conversely, once respect is broken, the relationship begins to deteriorate, and rebuilding it requires far more effort than simply saying sorry. A man who values a woman will never jeopardize her dignity because he knows that respect is the foundation upon which lasting love is built. Respect is the foundation upon which lasting love is built. Respect is the line that should never be crossed because it defines the quality and longevity of the relationship. Without it, love cannot survive, trust cannot flourish, and hearts cannot feel safe. Every thoughtful word, kind action, and considerate choice reinforces that respect, creating a relationship where both partners feel honored, cherished, and truly seen. Crossing that line is not just a mistake, it is a breach of the very essence of love. Words are incredibly powerful, far more powerful than most people realize. They have the ability to build someone up or tear them down, to create intimacy or destroy it in an instant. In a relationship, words are not just sounds, they are expressions of care, understanding, and respect. Every word spoken carries weight because it communicates how much a person values or undervalues the other. Hurtful words, insults, sarcasm, and belittling behavior can leave lasting emotional scars that take years to heal. A careless comment in the heat of the moment can echo in someone's mind long after it is said, shaping how they view themselves, their worth, and the relationship itself. Trust in a relationship is delicate. It grows slowly, nurtured by consistent honesty, respect, and emotional safety, but trust can be shattered almost instantly by a single hurtful statement. When a man speaks harshly in anger, dismisses her feelings, or mocks her vulnerabilities, it chips away at the foundation of trust. What makes this damage so potent is that words linger. Unlike physical actions, which may be seen and forgotten, words are internalized. A woman may replay a cutting remark over and over in her mind, questioning why someone she loved could speak to her in that way. Every insult, every sarcastic jab, every dismissive comment becomes a seed of doubt that slowly grows, affecting the way she interacts with him and with others. A real man understands that anger does not justify cruelty. He knows that the moment he allows his frustration to manifest as verbal attack, he risks destroying the emotional safety his partner depends on. It is not enough to apologize after the fact. Words cannot always be taken back, and the hurt they cause cannot always be erased. Anger is a natural human emotion, but using it as an excuse to belittle, shame, or manipulate a partner is not acceptable. Men who value the women in their lives recognize that discipline over their tongue is as important as discipline in their actions. They think before they speak, choosing words that clarify, protect, and express rather than wound and diminish. Moreover, hurtful words do not just impact the relationship in the moment, they accumulate over time. Repeated insults or negative language create an environment of tension, fear, and insecurity. A woman who feels constantly criticized or demeaned may withdraw emotionally, guard her heart, or even lose trust in her own instincts. The relationship can become a place of stress rather than comfort, a source of doubt rather than support. This is why emotional intelligence in communication is critical. A man who truly loves and respects his partner will avoid words that harm and will instead use language to nurture, validate, and empower her. Words can also shape self-worth. When a man repeatedly undermines or mocks a woman, he is sending a message that she is not valued. Trust is built on the belief that your partner sees and appreciates your worth. Once words begin to erode that belief, the foundation of love itself becomes unstable. Respectful, thoughtful communication, on the other hand, reinforces trust and deepens intimacy. A real man understands that what he says carries consequences, and he treats his words with the same care as he would his actions. Trust is fragile, and words can either protect it or destroy it. The choice is always his. Emotional manipulation is one of the most dangerous traps in any relationship because it disguises control as love. It is subtle, often hidden behind charm, affection, or apologies, but its effects are deeply damaging. When a man plays hot and cold, showing intense affection one moment and cold distance the next, he creates confusion and insecurity in the woman he claims to love. This behavior is not love, it is control. A relationship built on manipulation may feel intense or passionate, but it lacks the stability, trust, and emotional safety necessary for genuine love to grow. Manipulation erodes self-esteem, undermines confidence, and leaves a woman constantly questioning her worth, her feelings, and the intentions of the person she cares about most. Treating a loyal woman like an option is another form of emotional manipulation that crosses a serious line. A woman who gives her heart, time, and energy expects reciprocity and respect, attention, and commitment. When a man treats her loyalty as something to be taken for granted, he is sending a dangerous message. Her feelings are secondary to his convenience. This kind of behavior makes her feel replaceable, as though her love and support have no real value unless they serve his needs. Over time, it chips away at the foundation of trust, leaving her emotionally drained, uncertain, and questioning why she invested so much in someone who does not fully honor her commitment. Manipulation often hides behind mixed signals and contradictory actions. A man may say one thing and do another, apologize profusely while repeating the same behavior, or disappear for periods of time only to return with excuses and promises. These patterns create emotional whiplash, making it difficult for a woman to trust her own judgment. She may begin to rationalize his behavior, blaming herself or hoping that the love she gives will somehow change him. This is the hallmark of manipulation. It shifts the burden of responsibility onto the victim while allowing the manipulator to maintain control. A healthy relationship, by contrast, offers clarity, consistency, and mutual respect. Emotional manipulation is the opposite. It thrives on uncertainty, confusion, and imbalance. A real man, one who genuinely loves and respects a woman, does not engage in games of emotional push and pull. He does not use affection as a reward or distance as a punishment. He does not test her loyalty or manipulate her feelings to satisfy his ego. True love is consistent and transparent. It allows both partners to feel safe, secure, and valued rather than constantly anxious or unsure. Emotional manipulation is a deliberate choice to prioritize control over care, and it is a boundary that should never be crossed. The consequences of emotional manipulation are severe. A woman who has been treated as an option may struggle to trust future partners, question her own judgment, and carry emotional scars long after the relationship ends. Respecting a woman's loyalty, honoring her feelings, and communicating openly are the markers of love, not manipulation. Playing with emotions, creating confusion, or treating a devoted partner as disposable is never acceptable. Love, in its truest form, nurtures, uplifts, and empowers. It never breaks down a person to satisfy someone else's control. Crossing the line into manipulation is a betrayal of trust, a violation of love, and a failure of character. Loyalty is the cornerstone of a man's character, the invisible measure of integrity that determines whether he can be trusted with a woman's heart. It is not just about grand gestures or public displays of devotion. It is about consistency, honesty, and honor in both private and public life. A loyal man does the right thing even when no one is watching, understanding that his actions define who he truly is. Loyalty is not negotiable in a meaningful relationship because it is the foundation upon which love, trust, and emotional safety are built. Without loyalty, love becomes fragile, vulnerable, and easily broken. Betrayal, lies, and cheating are the ultimate violations of that trust, and they have consequences that go far beyond the immediate moment of wrongdoing. When a man betrays a woman through dishonesty, infidelity, or secret behavior, he destroys the emotional safety that a healthy relationship requires. A woman opens her heart to someone she believes she can rely on, and in doing so, she makes herself vulnerable. This vulnerability is sacred, and violating it through betrayal shatters the trust that took time, patience, and shared experiences to build. Every lie told, no matter how small, is a crack in the foundation of intimacy. Cheating, whether emotional or physical, is a direct attack on the bond between two people. It undermines not only the trust in the relationship, but also the sense of security and self-worth that a woman has invested in the connection. Loyalty is not demonstrated only through the avoidance of wrongdoing. It is proven in the small, everyday choices that show commitment and integrity. AM. And who respects loyalty, honors the promises he makes, values the love he receives, and makes decisions that reflect care for his partner's feelings and well-being. He communicates honestly, keeps his word, and stands by his partner during challenges rather than seeking convenience or selfish advantage. Loyalty is about prioritizing the relationship and treating it with the seriousness it deserves. It is about recognizing that love is a shared responsibility and that protecting the emotional safety of the other person is as important as pursuing one's own happiness. A loyal man understands that his actions, not just his words, define the depth of his love. It is easy to say, "I love you," but true love is proven through consistent integrity and unwavering commitment. Loyalty cannot be faked or finessed. It is observed through behavior over time, especially when circumstances are difficult, temptation is present, or no one is watching. Betrayal, dishonesty, and infidelity reveal a lack of moral backbone, a failure to honor the very principles that make love meaningful and enduring. Ultimately, loyalty is what separates men from boys in relationships. Boys may give attention, affection, or words without consistency or responsibility, but men act with integrity and prioritize the emotional safety of their partner. Loyalty fosters trust, security, and mutual respect, allowing love to grow and flourish. Without it, relationships collapse under the weight of doubt, pain, and broken trust. A man's loyalty is not only a reflection of his love for the woman beside him, it is a reflection of who he is at his core. In every meaningful relationship, loyalty is the line that defines character, and crossing it through betrayal, lies, or cheating is a violation that can never be fully undone. A real man understands that a relationship is built on mutual respect, trust, and emotion. If safety, and he knows that protecting those things is far more important than testing limits or pushing boundaries, mature men do not feel the need to see how far they can go or what they can get away with. They recognize that love is not a game and that every choice, every action, and every word carries weight. Testing a partner's boundaries is not a sign of strength or cleverness. It is a sign of strength or cleverness. It is a sign of insecurity and immaturity. A man who truly values the woman in his life prioritizes her well-being and respects her limits because he knows that protecting her heart is the ultimate way to honor the connection they share. Boundaries are not arbitrary rules. They are expressions of a woman's self-respect and emotional needs. They define what she will and will not tolerate, and they create the safety she needs to love fully and freely. When a man disregards those boundaries, he undermines the trust and security that allow a relationship to thrive. Crossing boundaries, whether through emotional manipulation, disrespect, or inconsiderate behavior, sends a message that her feelings are secondary to his desires. This can create tension, resentment, and doubt, leaving her questioning whether her love is valued or whether she is merely tolerated. A mature man knows that honoring her boundaries is an act of love, not limitation. Protecting a woman's heart goes beyond avoiding harmful behavior. It involves actively nurturing the relationship and showing care in both big and small ways. It means listening when she speaks, validating her feelings, and being mindful of how his actions affect her. It means being honest, loyal, and consistent, even when it is inconvenient or challenging. A real man does not wait for mistakes to happen and then try to make excuses. He anticipates her needs, respects her limits, and chooses behavior that strengthens trust rather than tests it. This kind of attentiveness communicates value and reassurance, showing her that she is cherished, not taken for granted. Testing boundaries can take many forms, from ignoring her needs and pushing her patience to emotional games that create confusion or fear. A mature man does not seek control or power over his partner. Instead, he seeks partnership and equality. He understands that love flourishes when both people feel safe, respected, and honored. By protecting boundaries, he allows intimacy to grow naturally without the strain of doubt, anxiety, or insecurity. He does not need to prove his masculinity through control or challenge her limits to feel validated. Ultimately, a real man knows that respecting and protecting boundaries is a reflection of his own character. It shows emotional maturity, self-discipline, and a genuine understanding of the value of the woman beside him. Love is not about testing, pushing, or breaking. It is about holding, nurturing, and honoring. A man who protects her heart ensures that the relationship remains a safe haven, a space where trust is never questioned and love is allowed to thrive. He does not test boundaries because he knows the greatest strength in a relationship is not in seeing how far he can go, but in showing how much he values the woman who chose to trust him with her heart. In every relationship, there are lines that should never be crossed, and the most important of all is respect. A real man understands that love without respect is hollow, that words carry weight and can either build trust or destroy it, and that emotional manipulation is never a substitute for genuine care. Loyalty defines a man's character, showing itself in honesty, integrity, and the choices he makes even when no one is watching. Mature men honor boundaries, protect hearts, and value the women in their lives rather than testing limits or playing games. Relationships thrive when both partners feel safe, valued, and understood, and they wither when trust is broken, dignity is undermined, or love is taken for granted. True love is consistent, honorable, and nurturing, and a man who embodies these qualities ensures that his relationship is not only strong, but enduring, built on a foundation that can never be shaken.